Teddy. This is a twofer today. You get both of us. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And Merry Christmas. The flowers today are in honor of our mothers, Reverend Michael's mother, Frances Sonka Benson, and my mother, Alpina Lagamarcino Gates. And my mother loved red and had a lot of it in her home. So I know that she's speaking to all of us today. I'm dreaming of a place I love, even more than I usually do. And although I know it's a long road back, I promise you I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents beneath the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light beams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. I took that song, that Christmas song, which has a lot of meaning to me, and I analyzed it. And it's amazing to me that when I heard Michael, so many times I tend to be of the twosome, I tend to be the more teddy bear kind. And today I have gone mental on you. Christmas is that magical time of the year, that magical essence, that magical moment, that magical good, where we all feel good and reflect back, and we see and we know and recall all that has come to us from the past Christmases. Christmas is that celebration, that recognition of memories, and that brings many of them to cast upon us. I have fond memories, and many of you know that my father was very Germanic in his household. My mother was a wild Italian, and there was red wine and lots of love. Sometimes the strictness and the wine and the love got a little convoluted, and it made for interesting evenings and interesting celebrations. But I weathered it, and I'm here. I believe God to be working within me at all times. There is no place where Spirit is not by means of that indwelling presence. And I know that as I move into this season and into this day, that Christmas in life gets better through the direction of my mind and my thought. Recall the memories, and they're all great to recall and accept. It's part of our lineage and our heritage, as Reverend Michael spoke about. And I know that life gets better through the direction of my mind and what I perceive and conceive and achieve, because anything that I truly, truly desire and want comes through the direction of my thought and employing the principles that we teach here at the center. That song implies to me, I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. And I will be home for Christmas, because it all begins within. Where I am, Christmas is. It always is. It's that presence that Reverend Michael spoke about. It's that essence. It's that feeling. It just is. It just is. I'm celebrating and knowing of the place where I love. It's my consciousness. It's my thought. It's my soul. That's where I remember the Christmases. We never need to look out of ourselves to remember Christmas. We look within, we turn within. Punch recall. And some of us have been blessed with a little larger storage unit than others to recall those Christmas past. And the shared ones and the good ones. I've always had I won't say a difficult time, I've always had a time of remembrance and to stay centered and focused. My father passed at Christmas, And I know that all the reading that I've done, that is really the most spiritual time to make your transition. But it's always a poignant memory. And I know tomorrow is my opportunity to take some of these wonderful flowers out to the cemetery to honor them and remember them. And my father passed in 1965, so that's what, 47 years? Been a long time. But it's always a joyful time. And earlier this week I was at the grocery store, and one of the groundsmen out of the cemetery said, "I haven't seen you out there yet this year, Louis." And I said, "Well, there's that time situation. You know, I keep thinking I'm putting it off to a later date." But I said, "I'll be there for Christmas." And I will be out there for Christmas, definitely. When we look within ourselves, we find every answer that we need. And all of the answers, all the directions, all of the important things are within. And I like to think of it as like the instructions on assembling a toy, or the bicycles that the Bensons fixed for Marilyn and Michael. We just have to read them. We have to listen to them. The knock, like Michael spoke of last week, we have to pay attention to what is within to move out. And they need to be acknowledged by our soul. And when we acknowledge that, we live in that residence of happiness and joy and sweet memories. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light beams. And I turn within and know that within our own home, there is that love light that beams. It is always illumined. And I recognize for myself, and I know for you, that as you move into this next few days, that you'll have an opportunity, perchance, if you wish, to get puckered and be annoyed if someone cuts you off at the stop sign or takes that parking place that you had your eye on. But we have that opportunity to bless them, and we'll find another one, whatever it is. Whatever it is, be it a hot dog or be it a parking place. We are always in that light. And Dr. Holmes shared with us that we immersed with a knowingness. And that knowingness is our consciousness and our what happened? I want 158. I don't want 123. I wonder where that came from. Okay, this is what Holmes has to say. And I really believe it. If one will have faith in himself, faith in his fellow man, in the universe and in God, that faith will light the place in which he finds himself. And by the light of this faith, he will be able to see that all is good. And the light shed by this faith will light the way for others. We become conscious of darkness only when we are without faith. So we all are loaded up on faith this time of the year. Faith in that deep indwelling presence that we know that is ours. It truly is ours. Our truth is that we are of God, and that truth illumines and transforms and brightens and lightens and makes new and whole that which we are. As I accept the light of Spirit this season, the inflow of that good enlarges my capacity to give out that which I receive. It's reciprocal. We share that. And you've heard me mention many times in the podium here that my good friend Blanche Benjamin Smith, who was a Christian Science practitioner for 75 years, and certainly a great influence on me now as I look back with those shared memories. Yours to use and enjoy, never to hoard or to greed. So it's no good if we hang on to it. It's like that berry doodah that Michael received this morning for Christmas. He can't eat it all himself. It's got to be shared. He said he could. Oh, golly. Well, I guess I'll be going someplace else. Oh, and the bear. Okay. What we do today becomes our new memory. Absolutely. The joy that we're sharing here in fellowship, and knowing that all the people that are traveling to their families today, that are taking to the air, taking to the roadways, they're all traveling in God's light, in God's safety. And I know that many of them coming from the northern part of the state, going south or north, will be traveling in the safety that's required, because Spirit always aligns, and Spirit always makes new and whole. But within us is that indwelling presence, that goodness. It's a Christmas gift for all of us. Our goodness is our radiance. Our goodness is our passion that we have for all things. When we become more peaceful, when we become more harmonious, when we become more loving and more kind and more generous, we are living our true purpose. We become more prosperous when we do that. And I don't mean all money things. I mean the prosperity of the recognition of the good that is ours to celebrate and use. Our soul is our consciousness. And it radiates into that world the inspiration that we are and the joy that we are. It allows us to love abundantly. And as we love abundantly, we are sharing this inner gift that is ours. It allows us to rise to a new level of possibility. It elevates. It's just like in this building when I walked in here the other evening, and it was cool in the sanctuary, but very warm, knowing that heat rises. Well, there wasn't any heat in the sanctuary, but the people upstairs that rent the offices left it at a cozy 76. And it was toasty up there. So I had the good pleasure and blessed them for recognizing that the heat can be turned down when they exit the building. But it sure felt good when it was about 40 degrees or 38 when I stepped in. It wasn't that cold in the sanctuary, it was about 60. So what I do know, that knowing these possibilities and knowing that the Christ consciousness is ever the light of Christmas, it always is. It's just that infusion, that joy, that goodness. And today I want to share with you that I start something new. I start something new and wonderful in my soul. And that is a celebration of the new memories from Christmas that I'll be sharing. It's my use of love, my gift of love, my use of light, and the gift of light. It's Christmas. And I'm asking you, won't you join me in accepting this as a new way to live and celebrate your Christmas? And may the light of Christmas 2012 illumine you, transform you, and give you the very depth of your soul, the essence and the genuine good that you are. And my lessonette lands in love.